What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Ranger Mike Show, and this is about the 16th time I've attempted to record this video, so here we go. Hopefully it's good. Thanks for watching. We're back at it again with another movie review. I think the last one did pretty well. A lot of people watched it and liked it, so we're going to do another one. I talk about a whole bunch of stuff on this channel, music, movies. I love movies. I've always loved movies. We are going to talk about The Creator today. If you haven't already, like the video, share it around to people you may think find it useful. Hit that subscribe button and click the little bell so you get notified every time I upload, whether it be a movie review or anything, you'll get notified. If you like country music, check out our band's album, Roll the Dice. I will have our website link in the description and the Spotify, and you can check that out. Real cool Texas stuff. We're starting to play around a lot here in Chicago. Hopefully we'll come to a city near you soon. So if you like that, check it out. So The Creator, the non-spoiler section, which is what I usually like to start with. I'm going to go over some of the high points of the movie and some of the stuff I didn't really like about it. First off, on the positives, the sound design in this movie is 10 out of 10. This is some of the best sound design I have heard in a movie for a long time. Now, I was having some issues with streaming it on Vudu, so I rented it on Apple TV, which was much better, and I watched it on my MacBook, which has a 4K display. So the visuals, 10 out of 10. The sound design, 10 out of 10. Cinematography, 10 out of 10. This is Gareth Edwards we're talking about. Gareth Edwards is a pretty good director. He's done Godzilla, the one in 2014, done Rogue One. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie. This movie feels like a Gareth Edwards movie. It feels like a big, official movie. A lot of movies nowadays, they don't have that cinematic feel. This movie feels like a movie. It feels big, it feels official, it feels like the world he's created is 100% real in what they've created. The aspect ratio of the letterbox, like the widescreen, is a lot thicker than I'm used to, but I like it. For some reason, I really like letterbox. You'll actually notice on this video here, you'll notice I have a little bit of a letterbox on this. I just like the way it looks. It has a kind of professional, kind of cinematic look to it, and I really like that. The Creator goes kind of overboard and makes it really thick aspect ratio. On a technical level, it's a great movie. Visuals, sound design, cinematography, all that, it's way up there. It's really good. The story, however, which is the most important part, there's a lot of things that are just kind of like, okay, yeah, I guess. And it tries to make you like feel sorry for the AI and the robots and this and that, and I just don't, because AI aren't human, robots aren't human. But yeah, they try to like kind of make it like that. Acting is, I'd give it like a 7 out of 10. There's a few parts where I'm just kind of I couldn't tell whether the main character was just kind of not hitting the lines right, or whether that was just his personality that they wrote. There's a lot of also really good scenes of acting too. If you're into sci-fi movies, really check it out. It's a great sci-fi movie. I mean, it's kind of long. It's like 2.5 hours, something like that. I don't mind long movies, especially if it's good. This one kept me very entertained. I will say that. There's a lot of sections of the movie that are just really entertaining, and it looks great. If for nothing else, watch it for the technical aspect of it. The story and the kind of message they're trying to get across is a little over the top. Overall, I'd probably give the movie 6.5 out of 10 stars. I know you're supposed to do 5 stars, but I like to do 10 stars. So we're going to move on to the spoiler section, where I kind of go in detail about the movie and about the characters and about the story, what I like and what I didn't like. So if you don't want to get spoiled, click off now. If you've already seen the movie, this part is probably for you. And if you just don't care, thanks for continuing to watch. Time for spoilers. Okay, so in the beginning of the movie, starts off with our main character. His name is, and I have my phone here because I didn't take notes. I never take notes. I like to just kind of stream of consciousness this stuff. So that's why if you see me look over here at my phone, I'm trying to figure out actors' names and characters' names in the movie. Main character's name is Joshua. He's played by John David Washington. He does pretty good. He does pretty good in the movie. Real sarcastic, real, kind of dry. There's some spots where I'm not sure if his acting is like great, but then there's other parts where he does really well. But he's a good lead. He's a good lead character. So it starts off in the beginning. He's in bed with his wife. It's not really showing anything, which is good. I'm never into like a bunch of sex and nudity in movies. I just don't think it needs to be in there. They're just talking about their kids. She's pregnant. You see he's got like a mechanical arm and a mechanical leg. Then you find out, because there's these American troops that are coming in. So AI has taken over the world in a good way. Everybody's let AI come in and do their thing. The AI launches a nuke in Los Angeles. So the West is like, we're done with AI, right? Like, we don't want AI anymore. Understandable. So then they're out to ban it, but then Asia, they still harbor AI AI, and they use AI, and there's like a weird like religious thing around them, and there's like a creator. That's the movie The Creator. Nirmata is who all the AI worship. People are all about it. The Americans are sending task force in to eliminate AI, and they've got this big flying satellite thing called Nomad. It's pretty cool looking in the movie, and it shoots a bunch of missiles down and takes out their bases and whatnot. The troops come in, and the robots bring in one of the troops they found, it's funny, it's Sturgill Simpson, and as a country musician, I thought that was great that Sturgill Simpson was in the movie. Like, that's awesome. They're beating him, like, where's the rest of your troops, whatever. So then you find out after that robots leave to go look for more of the troops, guy's sitting there, and he's like Sturgill Simpson's character, and he's like, hey, and you find out the main character's undercover. So then the wife finds out, she gets on a boat, she's all sad, she runs away, and then a missile comes down from Nomad and blows her up, or so you think. So then it flashes forward 5 years. The U.S. government is asking Joshua, hey, we need you to come back and do this operation with us. We found where this weapon is that the AI are using. And he's like, nah, forget about it, screw you guys. And then they show him like a picked feed, or it's like a holograph of his wife. So she's still alive, so that entices him immediately, because obviously he saw her blow up, right? So then he goes on this mission, and it's like, okay, we got to find the weapon, take out humans and AI alike that we don't need to spare. So they go down there, and they're kind of roughing up the civilians, and the civilians are kind of like, they're asking them, where's the weapon? Where's the weapon? And the civilians are like, oh, well, the AI's got more heart than you, and this and that. And this is where I have a problem with it, because I'm like, okay, AI are not human. Like, I can't feel bad for AI getting killed or taken or whatever and like destroyed. It's just like, okay, there's like robots, and then there's simulants, and simulants look like people. So it'd be like, okay, here's my face here, but then if I turn, I've got this big mechanical part to the back of my head, and that's a simulant then. Like all these advertisements like, donate your likeness and this and that. It's really, really weird. They go down there, they find the opening to the secret base, and they're killing all the scientists and taking out any robots that are down there. And then they eventually get to this vault. There's the weapon in there. And when they open it up, the main character goes in there. It's a little kid, but she's a simulant. So she's got the robot head, but she's got a human face. Because she kind of alludes to knowing where his wife is, because the main character, he doesn't care anything about what the U.S. government's doing. He literally just wants to get his wife back. So if this little kid, this simulant robot girl, knows where she is, so he's going to take her with him. So there's just kind of, they're getting chased by the U.S. troops, and a lot of them get killed because Nomad finds out where this base is, and they're going to drop a missile, but they can't cancel the strike in time, and the people don't get out. So a few of them do, and then they're chasing down Joshua, and the little girl's name is Alfie. Well, that's what he names her, because she's just a simulant. I don't think she has a name. She can cause EMP disruptions. She can control technology, so she's really powerful. And so there's like a whole, it's like, the main character is with her, and he's trying to get her back, and it's like the U.S. government and her like going back and forth, and then he runs into the people that he betrayed a long time ago, or the robots. So there's like a war that goes on between the Americans and the robots, and Nomads flying around, missiling things. There's a section in the middle of the movie where these huge tanks roll in, and the American military is like coming in to just take out the AI, and it's futuristic, so it's like giant tanks flying, craft and everything. Really, really well done. Super, super entertaining. Like I said, sound design and cinematography are absolutely off the charts in this movie, and I almost forgive the lack of story or interesting kind of story, because the special effects are so good. I'm one of those guys that really, really enjoys that stuff, and when a movie feels big like that, I like don't want to put it down. I may actually watch the movie again. I only watched it once, but I may actually watch it again simply for that reason. So then they eventually capture the simulant, the girl, then they take her to this base or something, and then the main character, like, he gets out, or they convince him, yeah, you gotta kill her, because you find out that his wife is actually the creator. She's Nirmata, but she's dead from the blast, but they're barely keeping her alive. If anybody knows what the Warhammer 40,000 universe is, you know how the God Emperor, he's dead, but he's a corpse, but he's being like kept alive somehow. That's kind of what it was like. They explain that the creator, like, since it has been like 100 something years, like a long time, that like there's been multiple Nirmatas and multiple multiple creators, so a little interesting. So he finds her like in Asia, and she's like on a bed, but he has to like shut the thing that's keeping her alive off, because otherwise she can't be put into a simulant, because you download a brain scan of somebody right before you die. It's weird. And this whole time they're trying to make you feel sorry for the AI, like the US government is like ripping them out of their homes and this and that. It's like, but they're robots. They're robots. Like, I don't feel bad for the robots, even though they're trying to make you feel bad for them. I don't. They're robots. They're AI. It's like, they have no soul. This is something that they talk about in the movie where the main character mentions heaven. The little girl goes, well, what is heaven? And he says, well, it's a place you go when you die or you get shut off. She said, well, how do you go there? And he said, well, you have to be good to go to heaven, which that's not the way it works. Obviously, from a Christian worldview, you got to accept Christ. That's the way you're going to heaven. The movie's like, oh, you got to be good to go to heaven. You got to be a good person to go to heaven. And he said, so I'm not going. And she said, well, I'm not going either. And he said, why? She goes, because I'm not a person. And I'm like, exactly. And that's meant to make you feel bad, but it's like, you're not. You don't have a soul. You're not a person. Even though it's a cute little kid and she's a robot and she can cry and be sad and be happy and be cute, it's like, if it's a robot, it has no soul. That's just not the way things work. I couldn't really feel bad, so I was just kind of like, okay. All right, like him, yeah, it's like, yeah, you don't want him to die. She's a robot. I mean, you feel bad for her in the scheme of the story and certain things, but it's just interesting. I think we're at a point now in everyday thing where AI is nowhere near the point it was in this movie, obviously, but I don't think people are at the point where we can feel bad for robots and feel bad for AI in the way they were trying to do it. Like, yeah, a beloved character dying, oh no, that's sad, but they're really, really trying to make a statement with it, and it's like, okay, we're not there yet. Like, I'm not. I don't think I'll ever be there. Like, robots are robots. They're cool inventions, and if they ever get to that point, cool. But I'm never gonna like feel sorry for robots, so I really couldn't. Anyways, moving on. He shuts off Nirmata's things keeping her alive, and then he's all sad, and the baby's sad because you find out that the little kid is their kid. She was pregnant at the beginning of the movie, and it's like, how? They didn't really explain that. How she then became not pregnant. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. I have to watch the movie again. So then it's like, okay, so then he basically is viewing her as like a daughter. Nirmata, she created, or her, what was her name in the movie? Maya created the little kid, Alfie, to be like this like super weapon and the one to like fix everything. Then they take the little girl back to the little robot girl back to the States, and they're going to destroy her because, okay, we can't have AI, so they're going to take her out because she's the most powerful one, and Joshua wants to be there to do it. But when he goes in there to do it, he just tells her to go on standby. Like, don't, like, I'm going to hit you with this stun gun thing or this thing that's supposed to take you out, but it's not really going to kill you, so you have to pretend like you're dead. But this is where I'm like, this is where plot armor comes in, because it's like, so the US government and all their technology had no idea this machine was still active. She was able to play dead perfectly, and I guess if she's like a supercomputer, I guess she could do that. You have to really give it the benefit of the doubt with that. And then they get up into Nomad. They somehow get up there. They're like, she's opening doors and, you know, doing weird technology stuff to get them through, and the US government's trying to chase him. They know that Joshua's running away with Alfie. And so then they get up to Nomad. He's going to destroy it because he wants to save all the AI people now. Because then the Americans just launch all the missiles at one time. So then it's like a race before the last one gets launched, even though a bunch of them already get launched. He's out there climbing on the hull of this big, gigantic satellite, and he's putting like bombs on it and stuff. And so she shuts off the launch command. They're going to escape, but she gets into the escape pod, and then the door jams. So apparently they have no way around that. So then he's stuck inside the thing that's about to blow up, and she's in the escape pod, and he's like, oh, just go, and blah, 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 and they have this heartfelt thing. But before she got back to the escape pod, she found a bunch of clones of her mother, of Maya, of Joshua's wife, but they're robots, right? She drags one out. It's still like inactive, but because they have a little USB thing of his actual wife's brain image or something, they're able to put it into the robots. It's kind of interesting. That's what I mean about the stories all over the place. Like, I'm trying to explain this, and it's kind of all over the place, and it's like, whoa, okay. After she's in the escape pod, he's like, okay, go, go, go. So then she, very sad moment, and then she gets jettisoned back to Earth. He stays up there. It's like the typical at the end of the movie, like, you know, characters been through so much, they're all wounded and stuff, and they're walking, and then the AI version version of his wife that Alfie put the little USB chip in. She's awake now. She sees him, but she remembers who she is, and they like embrace and kiss each other, and then the Nomad blows up. I mean, typical Gareth Edwards, the main characters are getting killed. But I mean, I didn't mind that in Rogue One. Rogue One was a great movie. And I didn't mind that in this. It's like, that's fine. But at the end, it's like, oh, well, the missiles don't blow up and all the AI people are fine, and all the robots are saved, and they look to this little girl as like the savior, and they kind of set it up for a second one. Once again, all over the place story, just kind of like, I don't know, hard to believe some of it, hard to hard to feel empathy for some of the characters because they're robots. And it's just like, as far as a technical feat goes, I would watch this movie again simply for the sound design, the cinematography, the special effects, and the gravity of the movie. It feels big. It feels like a legit film. Like when you watch something like The Godfather, or you watch something like Hero, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Vertigo, or just stuff like that, it feels like a movie. Mad Max Fury Road feels like a movie. Dunkirk, 1917, The Dark Knight Rises, they feel big. They feel like a movie. This has that. If you can get past the interesting all over the place story, I'd recommend it. If you don't like sci-fi, don't watch it. If you're a movie enjoyer, it's worth it to check out. Overall, I'm going to give this movie, The Creator, a 6.5 out of 10. The only reason it goes that high is because of its technical marvels. I mean, like I said, I can't say that enough. Sound design, cinematography, special effects, 10 out of 10. That's why it gets a 6.5. If it was just for the story, it'd be way down to the 3 because I really didn't understand what was going on and I could not feel empathy for a lot of the characters. Thanks for bearing with me going all over the place on this movie, The Creator. I appreciate you watching this video. Check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments of this movie. And I will talk to you guys next time. God bless. Merry Christmas, because it's probably Christmas by the time this thing is uploaded. God bless you guys. We'll talk to you next time. Check out Roll the Dice on Spotify. If you like country, you will not be disappointed. Check out our website, therangersband.com. You'll see where we're playing, everything about what we're doing. So you guys take it easy. Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you next time.